Hi, my name is Emily, and I want to share a story that completely changed my life. A story about how one careless joke destroyed everything I thought was solid, and how I realized that strength comes in different forms. I never thought that a single sentence could turn my world upside down, but it did. It was just an ordinary evening, an ordinary conversation, but after it, my husband got up and left, and I was left alone, in complete silence. Only then did I understand the mistake I had made. I never thought that one phrase could change my life, just a silly joke, an innocent remark. I didn't even look at him when I said it, but now I sit alone. The house is empty, the silence is suffocating. I stare at my phone screen. No messages, no calls, just my last message. Read but unanswered, and yet, just a day ago, we were happy. We were sitting on the couch, wrapped in a warm blanket. The room was softly lit. Cups of unfinished tea sat on the table. I was scrolling through my phone and accidentally came across a video on the screen. A man was fiercely defending his wife in an argument, standing in front of her, shielding her from a rude stranger. The woman behind him looked at him with admiration. I laughed. You would never do that, I said, my eyes still fixed on the screen. You're too weak. I wasn't thinking, I just said it, like always, with no bad intent, but suddenly the room became silent. I felt his gaze on me. I looked up, met his eyes. He wasn't smiling, there was no usual warmth in them. Do you really think that? His voice was calm, but something in it had changed. I shrugged, trying to turn it into a joke. Come on, don't take it seriously. I was just kidding. But he silently stood up, took his jacket. I didn't even have time to ask where he was going. The door shut behind him, leaving nothing but ringing silence. I sat on the couch and waited. For the first few minutes, I smiled, shook my head. Well, he got offended. Well, he decided to take a walk. He'll be back in an hour, maybe two. I checked my phone. 10:17 p.m. By midnight, anxiety started creeping into my heart. Where was he? I sent a message. Where are you? 10 minutes passed, 15, half an hour, no answer. I called. The dial tones, 1, 2, 3, voicemail. I kept waiting. Memories surfaced in my mind. I had always thought that he wasn't the kind of man who could protect me. He wasn't tall, he wasn't muscular, he never got into conflicts, preferred listening rather than arguing. But now I remembered something else. When I was sick, he sat by my side for hours, changing cold compresses, making hot tea. When I cried after a hard day, he held me, telling me everything would be okay. When I was afraid to move to another city, he was the first to say we'd manage. He had always protected me, I just hadn't seen it, and now that he wasn't here, the realization squeezed my heart. Hours passed, I stared at his things, the blanket he always left on the back of the couch, his cup, the open book on the nightstand. I picked up my phone, typed a new message. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Please come back. The seconds stretched like eternity. The message was read, but there was no reply. I felt tears running down my cheeks. I was scared. For the first time, I thought that maybe he wouldn't come back. I didn't sleep. Sat in the kitchen, nervously tapping my fingers on the table. I kept wondering where he was, at a hotel, at a friend's, in his car. I called again, voicemail. My heart tightened. I suddenly realized that I had no idea how to bring him back. I was used to him always being the first to make peace, always taking the first step. But what if this time he wouldn't? I looked out the window. People were going about their day. Cars rushed past. His voice echoed in my mind. Do you really think that? I really thought he was weak. How wrong I was. His strength was different. in patience, in care, in his ability to forgive, and I had simply never noticed. I picked up my phone, typed one last message. You were right. I didn't appreciate you, but I want to fix that. I waited. A minute passed. 2, and then 3 little dots appeared on the screen. He was typing a reply. That evening, I heard the sound of keys in the lock. The door opened. He stood on the threshold, tired but calm. I looked at him. Not knowing what to say, he took a step forward. I swallowed. You're stronger than I thought, I whispered. He looked into my eyes. Silence, then a slight nod. He forgave me. I felt the weight on my heart lighten, but this lesson I would never forget.